Hello, what is going on, everybody? It is Master of TDS, and I am joined by my lovely wife,
Riding Raven.
And we're here for a kind of different video.
Yeah.
So, as you guys probably know, by the time you guys are watching this, we will be on our way to Vegas for our vacation.
Woohoo!
And for the fan meetup with Nerdronauts. We're very excited.
Very.
If any of you will be there, let us know. We would love to meet you. But anyways, so we decided that we didn't want to leave the channel without content for 2 weeks. So we decided that one of the things that we would do is we would make a video on a kind of a Q&A. We had kind of planned one for 400 subscribers anyways, and never got around to it. So kind of, this isn't for 400 subscribers, but yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's more like right now the halfway point between 400 and 500.
Yeah, which hopefully we'll get to 500 by the end of the year. That'd be great.
That would be nice.
But yeah, so yeah, we have your questions. I grabbed as many of them as I could. I did give a minute for anybody to put last minute ones, but
here we go.
We're gonna just go with what you have. We're gonna address them. If a question's not addressed to one of us specifically, we're gonna both take turns addressing them and answering them, and then we'll kind of move on from there.
Yeah.
So the first question we have here
from JJ, aka the Banshee. Which movie, in your opinion, makes a lot more sense if we look at the main character as suffering with schizophrenia? Okay. And this I accidentally actually answered on Twitter because I didn't see that this was for the Q&A. So...
yeah, do you want to answer first?
Sure. My opinion, and I'm going to go with the answer I wrote, would be Beautiful Minds, which technically is about the main protagonist being someone with schizophrenia. And it's portrayed pretty well, actually.
My answer is going to be something that my wife will know very well, but it may surprise some people. The movie Annihilation.
Oh.
View that as someone dealing with schizophrenia, and it makes a lot more sense. And by the way, it didn't make much sense anyways. So
yeah.
It's a good. Well, I think that kind of fits.
It does. That is a very crazy movie.
If you haven't watched it, you should, but prepare for an acid trip.
Yeah.
Unless you think about it with schizophrenia, in which case maybe you'll understand some of it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Next question.
Viking out of time. Hi, Viking. Enjoy the trip, my friend. That being said, I'm curious to know why you decided to become a therapist, if that is a good question for your Q&A. If not, then I'd like to ask what your favorite part in Back to the Future is. I say answer both.
Okay, I'm going to answer both, but I feel like we both, since my wife has not fully watched Back to the Future yet,
I've only seen the first.
I'll be the one answering this. So let me answer the first question, why I decided to become a therapist. I was always one of these people when I was very young. For some reason, don't know if it was my face or kind of how I was, people would come to me for advice on things. And I'd give them advice, very logical advice, and they'd come back. And I noticed that I really liked helping people, and I just knew that, I was more sensitive to other people than other people. I really liked helping, and so I knew from a younger age that that's what I wanted to do. And, when I finally got to college, I pursued a master's in psychology. Hopefully that answers your question. I'll answer the other one, too. My favorite part of Back to the Future. Now, I'm going to be careful with this because my wife has not seen the second movie and the third movie. But for people who have watched, I would say, well, actually, no. I'd say my favorite part is a quote where at the end of the first movie, Marty and Jennifer are together, and then suddenly the time machine appears and it's different, and Doc's like, you gotta come back with me, back to the future. And then they get in the car, and Marty's like, no, Doc, you gotta back up. You're not gonna get to 88 miles per hour. And he goes, roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
And doesn't he also flip his sunglasses down?
Yeah, his visor down, and then the car starts to fly, which is cool.
Yes,
but yeah, that was my favorite part.
From Jock Nerdy. What's your take on how this pandemic has affected normal, healthy people's mental health?
Well, since this is addressing mental health, I guess I'll answer it. Look, the pandemic has been a huge problem with people for multiple different reasons. I'm not going to go into all the politics involved. What I am going to say is that it has affected a lot of people. People aren't going out as much. People are constantly afraid, so it creates more anxiety, more fear, which makes a lot of certain things such as depression and OCD and other things like that a lot worse. And it can even bring out depression and other things from people. So how it's affected normal, healthy people's mental health is it's actually done them a disservice, because it's made it that they have more anxiety, more panic, all this kind of stuff, and it's caused it's caused a lot of issues. Suicide rates have gone up, a lot of things, and so it's really hurt people. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the next question.
Okay. From Thomas the Gilkinator. Favorite animal, dog or cat? Does it have to be a dog or cat?
I don't know. So let's answer both. My favorite animal, I'd actually say, and this is going to sound really weird, is a tie between a sea otter, because they're so cute.
Otters are adorable.
And a benturong, which is an animal you guys probably not heard of. It's really cool. Look it up. It's like a monkey bear fish kind of thing. It's really cool. It has claws, a tail. It's really, really cool.
And it's a fish?
No, it's not a fish. It can just breathe underwater. So I believe. I don't know.
It's an amphibian.
It's not. Look it up. I've seen one. I ended up seeing one in person, which is why I like them so much. But as far as if I'm a dog or cat person, personally, I have a allergy to animal fur. But if I had to choose, I prefer dogs. I think dogs are less lazy than cats.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
In terms of dog or cats, I do like both. Dogs are very friendly, and I do like dogs. Cats I like so long as they are short-haired cats. Specifically black cats. Oh, those are beautiful. But if I had to go with a general favorite animal, that would be a tie between a snake, a bat, a raven, a black cat, and a dragon.
Dragons don't really exist, though.
Too bad. I'm putting dragon in there.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue. As long as there's no unicorns.
Ugh, no. The only unicorn we are ever getting is the severed unicorn head from Ethan Van Sciver.
Which I will see for precisely 1 minute and then will disappear and I will never see again.
Yes, because it will be mine. All right, and moving on. Again, from Thomas the Gilkinator. Why did you start a YouTube channel? Like, what was your passion for wanting to do something?
So, it depends on which channel we're talking about. Because this channel did not always used to be the one that it is now. Originally, this channel used to be called Master of TDS, which is why I got my name from there. It was based off of a card game that I played when I was younger. Long story short, community was very toxic, chased me away, and so I left, not planning to come back. Rebranded it with my wife when I started getting back into things, and now it's Gothic Therapy. But basically, my passion at first was to share with the world, have a voice, be able to be different for once, have people accept me for me. It was something very important to me at the time. As far as it is now, I think my wife and I both feel like, especially during COVID, we felt very confined. We liked listening to people's opinions on certain things, such as things going on in mainstream media and other stuff like that. And so we made this channel with the idea of kind of doing the same thing, not only to kind of get word out there, but also to kind of vent, I would say, in some ways.
And also because it gave us a little change into our routine so that we weren't just being so mundane. Because that is kind of what's happened over the last year.
And we have the pandemic to thank for that. But
Whereas for me, I kind of had a thought of, like, when we, maybe a year into our marriage, that what if we did a YouTube channel together? And at the time, I didn't really know what it would be called or what it would be about, but it was something that I felt I really wanted to do with my husband, because I knew that he had done YouTube in the past, and I thought it would be something that we could share together.
Yeah, I agree, and it's working out very well. So we'll keep doing it. But
yes. And from Angela Nightstar, do you see an end to this leftist insanity in our lifetime? That is a really good question.
Yes, but it is also a political question, so we'll kind of answer this very carefully. When we're talking about leftist insanity, I'm gonna kind of take that as more of towards all the crazy people on TikTok and the people, with different colored hairs and screaming or whatever. And honestly, I do think that eventually we will see an end to it, because I do think that they're going to push over a line at some point. They've been trying to break through barriers whenever. Eventually they're going to come up against a barrier that's not going to budge. Because someone's going to stand up, someone big is going to say no, and it's going to backfire on them. Mm-hmm. Because especially the people who like to cancel people, they only win if you try to apologize or let them have power. If someone big or company were to say no, that's when they win.
And in terms of the insanity, I think it'll only end when we finally can have asylums back.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but institutions, I would love more of those.
Either or works for me as long as we can get rid of the crazy people. And from Wookie Fever. Hey, Wookie Fever. Do you or your wife have an interest in cryptozoology or Bigfoot/Sasquatch?
I'll let you take this first.
Yes. We both do, actually.
Yeah, we actually do. Funny story, though. My wife actually thought that I didn't.
Yeah, back when we were dating.
She thought that I would purposely look things up to have things to talk about with her.
Because I love supernatural stuff and witchcraft and ghosts and demonology and... it's so much fun. I get a little excited when I talk about these things.
Yeah, but I had a natural like for it too, and she thought for the longest time that I would look things up to talk about with her. But no, we both have interests in them. As far as how much we know, we don't keep like up to date on sightings or anything like that. We're not that into it, but we do have general knowledge, and we also really like supernatural things. We both do have knowledge on it.
Yeah, and we also each have our own theories on them too. From R2 the Icky. Hi. You said nothing about silly questions, so if you could prank a famous person at any place in time with a whoopee cushion, who would it be and why?
I know exactly who it would be.
Who?
I can't say her name, but it's someone who's blocked me on Twitter for some reason. Whose name starts with an A and her last name starts with an H. And I would love to do that because I think actually, given some of the stuff that she does, it would actually be appropriate. How about you?
Absolutely no idea. But I think I would have to go with yours.
Yeah, I think mine's the best. That's fun. When I saw this question, I immediately knew what I was going to answer, but I've been waiting this long to answer it. So thanks for the silly question.
From Jay Ascent. Do you prefer pants? What does that mean?
I'm going to guess, like, I personally like pants. Maybe he's asking you specifically if you like pants as well. I don't know.
I prefer skirts, to be honest.
Okay, well, you answered the question then. But nice to see you, Jay.
Hi.
But yeah, not exactly sure what you meant there, but I think we both kind of are okay with pants. I mean, I wear pants every day.
I mean, if you're British, then we'll call them trousers.
Well, I wear pants every day, except for I would love to not wear them while I was around the house. If I'm seeing clients hearing with clients over the phone or something, my wife won't let me. She's mean.
Well, why are you gonna do that?
Because I can. That's why. There's no real reason. It's just because I can.
Whatever. Okay, so now from The Great One Is Here, are you going to let your wife buy the knives? I am curious.
No.
I am curious what kind of therapy you do.
So, if anyone doesn't realize, this is a running joke that my wife loves knives.
I do, but the only ones I have are one pocket knife and all my kitchen knives.
Yes, and it's not that I don't trust you with knives. I don't trust you around other people with knives. There's a big difference between that.
That's fair. It's because other people are crazy, and I don't want them near me.
And we don't have room for the knives right now.
Unfortunately.
But to answer that, no.
I would not be able to control myself, and I would probably buy a bunch of crazy different kinds of knives, inclling
no
archaic daggers that maybe will have magical powers.
No. Also no. Did I mention no?
But why?
Because of the power of N to the O. No. Okay. As far as what kind of therapy I do, that's a good question. I do usually work with people a lot of people with high levels of OCD. I am trained in various different methods of trauma reprocessing, such as EMDR, Flash, and stuff like that. So I am actually trained in those. I am able to do those. So that is helpful to some degree. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I would say, as I said, most of my clients have OCD. There, some come with other things, but primarily that's what I deal with. And, it's not only just talking, it's sometimes also, reprocessing with these methods.
So, from Thomas the Gilkinator, What is the one thing you love about doing streams/videos? And what is the one thing you hate about it? Well, to say the one thing he hates about it, the editing.
Yeah, that would be about the videos. I know the editing is important, but I hate it. Because I've recorded it, I don't need to listen to it again. It just gets annoying. But especially when you're cutting things out and you forget things, which I have in the past, and it's just like...
Yeah.
And the one thing I would say I love about it is being able to interact with people, read the comments. Also, the thumbnails are my favorite. I love making those thumbnails. All of the thumbnails that you've seen for any of our videos were made by me.
And you can thank me for the waiting room idea.
Yes, but I made it.
I know! You brought it to life, but it was my idea.
Yeah, which was a great idea.
Thank you.
What about you, honey?
I love being able to talk about things we like and to, bash on things we don't like. What I hate about the videos? I don't know. I guess I would say that we have to turn off our AC during recording.
I guess that's a pretty good one. Yeah, we do have a new AC now, which is great, but it's still pretty noisy, and if we can figure out a way to use our headsets, we'll try in the future, but right now it's not really working for us, so we're using our microphone, which is okay. It just means we have to turn off the AC, and it gets pretty hot here. So.
It does. All right, and from Fool for a Cause, do you sleep with one eye open? Joking aside, how did you two meet, and what were your first impressions?
So we're actually longtime family friends.
Yeah.
We met through family friends. Mm-hmm. And it was we dated on and off for kind of a while.
Yeah, back in high school.
And then things ended off and whatever. It's a long story, but our first impression was she was different. Something about her stood out to me. And she was very pretty. And so I immediately liked her the first time I, saw her that I can actually remember that I wasn't too young.
True.
What about you?
For me, Sarah, I don't know. There was just something about you that drew me to you.
Yeah, it was pretty much...
Our parents called us two peas in a pod.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like we literally, like the moment I saw her, I just knew.
Yeah.
It's really weird to say, but it's like the epitome of love at first sight kind of thing. But I knew that she'd be important in my life.
Well, the first time we clicked was when I saw you reading a book and came up to you to read it with you.
Yes, but when I first saw you before we were even that close, whatever, I just knew something about you was going to be important. But yeah, basically, as we said, we both kind of were drawn to each other, and there were bumps in the road. Mm-hmm. I definitely think we can call those bumps.
More like roller coasters.
But yeah, we ended up together at the end, so that was important.
That is what makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I will just end that off by saying that the fairy tales do not do true love justice.
Aw.
You're welcome.
Shucks.
And from Grid Zeta, so I have yet to watch the trailer for the Venom sequel, and despite being an average fan of the neighborhood web slinger and the fact that this month is dedicated to the webhead, what is your assessment of the 3 takes on Spider-Man so far?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I liked the original Spider-Mans.
They were good, but I still think Tobey Maguire did not emote very well.
No, he didn't. I do think one of my favorite Spider-Mans so far, I would say, is Spider-Man 2 of the original 3, because they got Doc Ock perfectly.
That is true.
Perfect casting for that character. They did him perfect. As far as Andrew Garfield
was okay.
I personally didn't like them. I didn't really see... They were not bad, but they weren't good either. And then as for
Tom Holland,
I like those too, but at the same time, I feel like they're making him too much into Iron Man instead of Spider-Man. And I kind of don't like... I think it's a unique spin, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But how about you, honey?
I did like Andrew Garfield definitely more than Tobey Maguire. I think just because I thought he was a better actor. Tom Holland, I think, is also a good take because he, as some other people have said, he actually looks like he's in high school, which is a good point. I would say Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, Into the Spider-Verse is pretty good.
Yes, that one is great.
That's an animated one. If you guys haven't seen that one, go watch it. It's
true, but it is still one of the best Spider-Man movies I have ever seen.
That I can agree with you on.
Okay, and again from Thomas the Gilkinator.
Thanks for all the questions. We really appreciate it.
Seriously. What is your take on mental health? Do you think there is a stigma around it? And if there is, what is your advice for those who struggle with mental health?
So, that's a good question. Yes, I do think there's a stigma around it. People make it seem like either it's something where you get kind of ripped off, or it's something you don't need, or it's something where you just talk about your feelings and it's not necessary. I disagree. I think that therapy is very necessary for multiple reasons, and it can be very helpful for certain people, especially ones that struggle with mental health. And my advice is it can never hurt to give it a try. A lot of therapists will give you a free consultation or something over the phone or whatever, and you can always give it a try and say it's not for you. But I will say that therapy can be very helpful, even just having someone there to talk to, and the fact that it's confidential. And the kind of therapy specifically that I do with the trauma reprocessing or whatever is extremely effective. So depending on what you mean by what therapist you go to, you can get more bang for your buck. But basically, there is a stigma around it. It's been turned into this crazy thing. It's been politicized even as well, which I'm not going to go into. It's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
My advice is never be afraid to give it a try, and never be afraid to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because you might not think it's going to mean much, but I can promise you it can change your world.
Yeah. One thing I will say about it is that I think it would also depend on whether or not the client gets along with the therapist.
That's true.
That's definitely important, because I know you've had clients who for whatever reason didn't like you and then didn't come back.
Yeah, and that's okay. Don't take it personally. If you go to a therapist and you don't like them, and you feel like you don't mesh with them, you can always go to another one. There are plenty of them.
That is true.
But yeah, just don't be afraid to give it a try. And to reach out to someone if you need help. Don't keep it bottled up inside. I know that's what society might tell you to do, but it's okay to feel, and it's also okay to reach out for help if you need.
And finally, from the Fandom Collective.
Shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much for everything. What drives you to create, and where do you see yourselves in a year? Also, hail! Have fun in Vegas.
We'll definitely have fun. We're both looking forward to it.
Hail to you as well.
What drives us to create? I would think that, and I think my wife will echo me on this, is that we've seen what's going on in pop culture. We've listened to people. We've, fought our own small battles. And I think what drives us to create is inspiration from all you guys out there who are speaking your mind, and the ability to connect with people outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
The ability to be reaching so many people all over the world and have common interests and and even people who don't agree with us, being able to say, hey, it's okay that you like this and I don't. We can still be friends.
Yes.
But anything else you want to add?
For me, definitely I agree with you in terms of YouTube videos. But as you all probably know by now, I am a writer. And what drives me to create in writing is a desire to share my ideas and my beliefs with the world in a way that actually makes sense to other people, I would say. Like my own philosophies, my own whatever. I just want to be able to share that. And I did want to pursue a career in Hollywood, but that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, and that's fair, and we need more good stories.
Yes.
Where do you see yourselves in a year? That's a good question. I actually hadn't thought of that. I'd like to see us at 1,000 subscribers.
That would be nice.
But
then the great one's gonna make us review the next Addams Family movie.
Yeah, no, that was 1,000 likes.
Oh.
Not happening.
I am not putting myself through that hell again.
Yeah, but I'd like to see us at 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to see us have grown. I'd like to see us have collaborated maybe with some of the other people in the community, bigger or smaller, doesn't matter which really.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see us having built up kind of a steady viewer base. It seems like some of our videos get more attention than others, and I know there's reasons behind that and whatever, and maybe the kind of format we're going about doesn't get as much attention so far. But I'd like to see us have kind of built a steady, following of people who want to watch our videos and support us. And I think we have on Twitter already, and that's great. And I appreciate every single one of you. We both do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'd like to see that continue to grow and thrive, and hopefully even get us to 1,000 subscribers, so we can. Not that monetization is a big issue, but I think it's a nice milestone to shoot for.
It definitely is.
But yeah, that's where we see ourselves again. Whether that will happen, we'll see. I'd like to at least get to 500 subscribers by the end of this year. I think that's possible. And if that's the case, I would love to be able to collaborate with more people and get to the point where we, break 1,000. That'd be great.
That would be very cool. So yeah.
So that's all for this video.
Thank you guys for all the questions. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, and this is not a standard therapy session, but don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you'll get notified of when we return to therapy from our vacation. You wouldn't want to miss it because...
you'll get charged.
Yeah, and make sure to let everybody know we do take referrals, just not now. Well, we've gone fishing.
Nah, we're just taking a break. But follow us both on Twitter at Master of the TDS and at Writing Raven 2. Also follow me on Wattpad at Gothic Writer 613 for well-written stories that will never be woke and are actually good stories.
I can attest to that.
Yes, I can.
Then again, I am biased, but...
yes, but you do like my writing.
Yeah, but I'm biased because I'm your husband. But seriously, go check it out. It's really good.
Thank you. And yeah, we will see you...
we will either see you in Vegas or we will see you when we return from Vegas.
either at Vegas or after Vegas. We will see you next time.
Gothic Therapy, out.